The Sacramento housing market is going through some major changes right now. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about what's happening right now regarding the resale market of existing houses, but also brand new home construction. We're going to talk about home sales, home prices, housing inventory, and of course, price reductions as well. If you guys get any value out of today's video, then please hit the like button. Also, consider subscribing as well. With that said, let's begin today's video. Here is a new article, I should say new, posted about 1 month ago. They have not posted December's numbers yet. These are looking at brand new home sales in the Sacramento region. This, by the way, is a typo. It should say November. So speaking of that, November sales were the second highest in the region, in the greater Sacramento area, for the month of November since 2004's monthly record of a whopping 821 new home sales. During the height of the housing boom, of course. This means that we're at the second highest level for November in about 20 years. Absolutely insane. According to Tim Murphy, he says, we continue to stress to elected officials throughout the region that excessive regulations and sky-high fees averaging over $100,000 per house. So just to get permits, fees, etc. for the county, it costs builders $100,000 per home, making it more difficult and more costly to build these new houses in the region, of course, that we really much need. So I agree with them. If you guys want to see home prices decrease, you need to see supply rising. In order to see more supply rising, you need to see existing homeowners sell their houses, but also for builders to start building houses much more so now than they have in years past. We have this housing affordability issue nationwide, but also in Sacramento. And the best way to mitigate that issue is to build more houses. In any case, here's a look at new home sales in the region since May of 2022. Of course, we had some ebbs and flows in the housing market where home sales tend to be at a low point during the winter months, as you saw in 22. And of course, in 2021 as well, right there, or 2023, excuse me. So this November right here is more or less in line with the past couple of months. But here's what really stands out to me. Here is November sales every single year going back to 2014. And again, we had the highest or second highest level of home sales for the month going back to the year of 2004. So basically, the second highest reading in about 20 years. What really caught my attention regarding this though is that we had 524 home sales this November, higher than last year, way higher than 22, a little bit lower than 21, but on par with 2020. So what happened back then, right? Back then we had average rates for a 30-year fix at around 3%. And the average in 2024 was just under 7%. Therefore, have a look at this. Here's the average rate for a 30-year fix in 2020 for a year as a whole was at 3.11%. Then 21, 2.96%. And the average last year, 2004, was an average rate at 6.72%. So this is pretty eye-opening to see that even though rates more than doubled, we still had relatively the same number of home sales this November compared to 20 and 2021. Now, of course, if you guys follow the channel, you guys all know that part of the reason for this uptick in home sales is due to the fact that home builders are offering all these incentives to home buyers, which can include not just, but it could include a closing cost credit. So, for example, in Sacramento, it's very common for builders to give $5,000 to $10,000, maybe even higher than that, to the buyer as a closing cost credit, which means once you buy the house or in the home buying process, they give you a credit in order to decrease your out-of-pocket expenses once you buy the house. So if they give you a $10,000 credit, that means your out-of-pocket expenses decreases by $10,000 during the closing process. On top of that, they're also offering lower than market rate 30-year fixed rates. It could be a 2-1 buy down or a 30-year fix. I've seen rates at 5.5, for example, for a 30-year fix compared to a 7% rate to buy an existing house. Now, all these incentives are kind of helping drive home sales this past couple of years, frankly, which back in 20 and 21, the incentives were more or less non-existent. Back then, it was virtually impossible to buy a brand new house because they had a waiting list. You'd reach, or I would contact based on behalf of my clients here in Sacramento. I'd reach out to builders and say, how long is your waiting list to buy a house? Because that was basically it. There was this long waiting list of people looking to buy a brand new house, and they just went down the list once a house got listed for sale. So you were lucky to be on a waiting list then, much different than right now compared to the past several years. Now, one of the reasons, of course, as well, why we're seeing an uptick in home sales in the Sacramento region is due to the fact we're still seeing a lot of people who are moving from more expensive areas, such as the San Francisco Bay Area. And of course, that's due to affordability constraints, right? So here's a look at new home sales this November by price tier. There was only 13 houses that sold for over $1 million. In contrast, there was 99 that sold in the range of $550,000 to $600,000. After that was 86 houses that sold in the range of $700,000 to $750,000. Maybe I'll make a more updated video regarding the differences between buying an existing house compared to a brand new house, the pros and cons. So if you guys are interested in a video like that, then please leave me a comment below. Now, if I was looking to buy a brand new house in Sacramento or anywhere really nationwide, I would go to newhomesource.com, not a paid promotion, but a really good resource looking at houses, builders, communities that are for sale. So in the Sacramento area, we have 225 communities, and there is just under 1,800 brand new houses for sale. This could be a dirt lot in which you select a lot you want to buy, and then you select all the fit and finishes down the road, and the house is yours, 6 to about 12 months from now. Or it could be a house under construction, or a completed house in which they're just waiting for a home buyer to buy it so they can move in. So the vast majority of houses that are for sale in the Sacramento region, if you guys are not familiar, is in the western part of Roseville. Really getting closer to the Los Angeles, the Sacramento airport, on the far western edge of Roseville. And Roseville is approximately 30 minutes northeast of downtown Sacramento. A lot of home building going on in Roseville. If I zoom out, also we're seeing home building in North and Thomas. I would say north and Thomas. It's actually north of what's called North and Thomas anyways. Also, we're seeing a lot of home building in Elk Grove, as well as Rancho Cordova, and of course, Folsom on the south side of Highway 50. I actually made a video on my second YouTube channel called Sacramento Home Goals. I went over in great detail regarding what's happening in Folsom Ranch. A ton of home building going on there, around 11,000 houses being built right now. All right, so that's an update regarding new home construction numbers. Let's have a look at the resale market of existing houses, excluding brand new houses. So this is according to Redfin. They must have updated this today because they have figures for December in Sacramento. So the median sold price in Sacramento was $485,000. That was up by 7.2% compared to December of 2023. So year over year, we're up by a whopping 7.2%. The national average is up by about 5 to 6%, by the way. So look at this as well. So a gain of 7.2 this December year over year. In November, the gain was actually a decrease of 2.8%. So an increase of 7.2%. We haven't seen a year over year increase that big since June last year compared to June of 2023. Back then, the year-over-year change was up by 11.1%. We also can have a look at the past 5 years as well. So at $485,000, look at December of 2019. That was obviously pre-COVID. The median sold price was $355,000. So we're up by about $135,000 compared to about 5 years ago. Let's also take a look at the number of closed home sales in Sacramento. That was up a astonishing 34% year over year this December at 324 houses that sold. Compare that to 1 year ago, there was only 242 houses that sold. And that at that time, it was a decrease of 20.9%. So quite the turnaround compared to 1 year ago. One thing that's fairly common in Sacramento, also looking at national trends as well, is that home sales obviously really peaked out in 2020 through 21. After that, you guys all know mortgage rates increased quite a bit and home sales really decreased. So we saw a huge decrease in home sales in 2022. But ever since then, we have some kind of seasonal upticks, but overall, it's been relatively flat for about a year. Also at 324 homes that sold this December, this is still well below pre-COVID levels. Back then, December 19, we had just under 500 closed home sales. Let's also have a look at how fast or how slow houses are selling as well. So days in market's at 33 days. This means you list your home for sale and then you accept an offer from a home buyer in about 33 days, about 4 weeks, let's call it. That's about 7 days longer compared to 1 year ago. So it's taking approximately 1 week longer compared to December of 23, which is right there. Now, over the past 5 years, back in December of 2019, it was only taking about 25 days to sell a house. So right now it's taking approximately 1 week longer compared to pre-COVID levels. So according to Redfin, the housing market in Sacramento is very competitive. Homes are getting multiple offers and some are waiving contingencies. The best way to describe this is that we had craziness in the spring home buying season of 22, of course, 20 and 2021. I would describe our housing market right now compared to years past during the same time frame is that we do have a competitive market, but it's not nearly as competitive as it was when we had 3% rates. I mean, go figure. Here's something you guys should be aware of as well. The sale price to list price ratio is at 99.3%. This means that home sellers who did sell their houses in December, sold their houses for 0.7 percentage points less than their asking price. This has been relatively flat for quite some time. Here's the 1 year chart. I mean, houses have been selling around the asking price for quite some time. Of course, it's lower compared to the craziness of the spring home buying season in 2022. Back then, that ratio was at around 104.5%. So selling 4.5% over the seller's asking price on average. Same goes for the spring home buying season of 21 as well. So we're seeing kind of like this market right now, which right now, of course, December tends to be a low point of the season where homes sell a little bit less than asking. So let's look at 1 year ago. So 1 year ago, that ratio was 99.4, so flat year over year. And also let's look at pre-COVID levels. December of 2019, that ratio was also around 99.4. So flat compared to 12 months ago, but also from 5 years ago as well. In regards to share price drops, here's what really kind of my biggest takeaway regarding this. Let's look at the 1 year chart. The share price drops is at 30.7%. So about 1/3 of all houses listed for sale in Sacramento have reduced their asking price. This is obviously way higher than a year ago when that ratio was only 21%. But remember, the sale price to final list price ratio is flat year over year. So what this is telling me at 30.7%, much higher than 1 year ago, we're seeing overzealous home sellers who are trying to get a high price for houses, but they're not getting offers and therefore they have to reduce their asking price. That's why we're seeing a huge uptick in the share price drops from 1 year ago. But looking at the sale price to final list price ratio, it's been relatively flat for about a year. Redfin also provided this as well, migration and relocation trends in the region. So across the nation, only 2% of home buyers search for a house for sale in the Sacramento region when they're looking at when they live outside of Sacramento. San Francisco home buyers search to move to Sacramento more so than any other metro. That was followed by Los Angeles and Fresno. Meanwhile, 67% of Sacramento home buyers search to stay within the Sacramento metro area. And in contrast, Boise, Idaho was the most popular destination among Sacramento-located home buyers. That was followed by Dallas and Portland. So take a look at this. So people looking to move from these areas to Sacramento, for the most part, lived in the San Francisco Bay Area. Just under 13,000 was a net inflow to Sacramento. After that was Los Angeles and Fresno and these other cities. So people who are living in Sacramento who want to move outside Sacramento, They are actually searching for houses in Boise, Dallas, Portland, Oregon, and Nashville, Tennessee. And with that said, if you guys are looking to get pre-approved for a loan here in California, my team and I would love to help you guys. I am a licensed loan officer and realtor as well, so we'd love to help you regarding that. And of course, if you want to buy or sell a house in the greater Sacramento area, then of course, we'd love to help you as well. You can email me at jason@meetjasonwalter.com, or you can check out my website, which is realestateteamfinder.com. With that said, please like and subscribe. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you in the next video.